Libearty, an adult male, well, we think male, black bear, who was relocated by U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service several times for wandering into residential neighborhoods. Because of this, on his third relocation, he was labeled as a nuisance bear. Now, what this means for most bears is euthanasia. But Libearty was lucky. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service sent him to live with a professional animal trainer in Devore. What causes a nuisance bear, might you ask? Well, the easy answer is food. When food is scarce, or in periods of drought, the bears will find themselves wandering into residential neighborhoods where usually they can find themselves an easy meal by going through trash cans. So what can you do to help? Well, one thing that you can do is make sure that your trash cans are secure. Another thing that you can do to help is to never put food out for wildlife, and when possible, please feed your pets inside. This year, the Blue Cut fire threatened the facility where Libearty was being housed, and he needed to be evacuated. So the Wildlife Waystation was called to assist in that evacuation. Dr. Rebecca Waltzer went out to assist with Libearty's immobilization, and he was brought back here to the Wildlife Waystation. Now, when the fire danger subsided, the facility that had been housing Libearty could no longer take him back. And thanks to your continued financial support, the Wildlife Waystation is able to offer Libearty a forever home. Tomorrow, the plan at his quarantine exam is to, number one, verify he is a male, and if he is, he will be neutered before being moved to live next to Chloe, who is one of our female black bears who resides here at the Wildlife Waystation. And our hope is that they will become good friends.
We thought that Libearty was a boy, but we found out today that Libearty's a girl.
You're a lady bear!
Super.
This is an animal that's considered a nuisance animal. She never hurt anybody, she didn't hurt any pets or anything like that, but she obviously was being drawn into human areas, most likely to eat garbage. And she does have a taste for Oreos, watermelon, and smoked salmon. And at this point, she's acclimated to being fed by people as well. So she might be fine on her own in the wild, but she would keep coming into human areas and would eventually hurt an animal or get hurt herself, get hit by a car, threaten a human, and have to be destroyed. And so every animal here goes through a minimum of 30-day quarantine to make sure that they're not sick before we bring them into our family. We brought her into the health center so that we could x-ray her right front leg, and it turns out she does have a previous fracture in her right elbow. It's healed, it's calloused, but there's a lot of damage to that joint. If she was a person, she'd have arthroscopic surgery to repair the joint, but there will always be pretty severe arthritis in that joint. Her range of motion in that leg is a little limited, so she's going to need some pain management and nutritional support for arthritis as she ages. We weighed her, we did an exam, she got dewormed, she got vaccinated, we drew blood to check her overall health. We microchipped her for permanent identification. She received some anti-inflammatories and subcutaneous fluids and vitamins to support her during anesthesia. She's recovering in a small catch cage so that she's controlled during her recovery from anesthesia. And then when she's fully awake, we'll let her into the big space where she's going to be neighbors with a younger female bear, hopefully friends. It's been 24 hours and Libearty seems to be enjoying her new enclosure and her new neighbor, Chloe. Thanks to your generous support, the Wildlife Waystation was able to provide a permanent home for Libearty and the medical care she'll need for the rest of her life. For more information, please visit wildlifewaystation.org.